Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the virtual memorial service of our dear sister Malesedi, precious Maphunye Sefamela. It is a sad day indeed as we celebrate her life and trying to go down memory lane to recall the indelible mark she has left in the choral fraternity. A special greeting and a welcome to the Peri family and all those that are joining us from all the provinces. You are welcome. Malesedi is known and has attracted our attention as a choral family by her active involvement and diligence in all the choral activities. She does not only feature in our life as a choral person, but she also was seen in the community embracing and giving service to the elderly, to the children that are trapped in drugs. We are indeed poorer without her. And this memorial service, therefore, seeks to celebrate her life. We thank God for a life that is worth lived. We are understanding now that why she was called Malesedi. She has brightened our lives in the choral fraternity, in her social cycles and community involvement. It is on that note, therefore, that we celebrate her life through song, because she was a gentle lady of song. And without much ado, let me invite the first tribute from the University of Cape Town Choir for Africa. And the tribute will be delivered by Professor Mugobane. Over to you, Professor Mugobane.
Hello, this is George Mugobane. This is a very sad moment. I've lost one of my younger sisters in the choral fraternity. I'm shattered. Precious Malesedi Maphunye Sefamela was a gifted singer. Precious and I were studying at UCT when we formed the UCT Choir for Africa. The reason behind being that I, as a music student at UCT, at the College of Music, I sang under the UCT Chamber Choir under Barry Smith, my lecturer, and also under Jimmy Van Donder in the UCT Choir. So there were two choirs at UCT, UCT Choir for students and UCT Chamber Choir for adults. I felt the need during the time that we needed to form a choir which would primarily concentrate on music of Africa, African music. This is the reason why the choir was named UCT Choir for Africa, in order to distinguish it from the two other choirs that were under the batons of my lecturers in music. The choir gradually developed into a formidable outfit. We held a number of concerts, and upon the persuasion of many of our followers, we decided to participate in regional and national choir competitions. Precious Lavi Maphunye and the other female choristers were so confident on the stage, but she was a shining star. Hence, she took most solo roles in the soprano line when our choir was performing. She is one of those, I remember vividly, who cried uncontrollably when we lost in our first attempt at the National Choir Festival Regional Championships in Cape Town at the Cape of Good Hope in 1988. We had placed a credible second position, but to her it was not enough. The following year, in 1989, the choir was unstoppable. Precious was singing soprano solo alongside Lungile Jacobs as a tenor solo. Lungile had joined us and had become our assistant conductor under me. And we went all the way to the national finals at the Standard Bank Arena, where we obtained the title of national champions. Who can forget her solo voice in the song Indlunkulu? And come where my love lies dreaming, together with Lungile singing the tenor part. It was due to this that the International Federation of Choral Music invited the choir to come and join their symposium in Scandinavia. That was Sweden, Finland, and Estonia. I left UCT Choir for Africa after graduating in 1990 with my Bachelor of Musicology. By then, another very, very talented singer had joined us. That was Sibongile Mngoma. Together, there were such serious contestants for the top soloist. After I left, Lungile Jacobs, the assistant conductor, assumed the role of conductor for UCT Choir of Africa. Lungile was also a very talented musician, and I am glad to say his relationship with me was very brotherly. We never lost touch. Of course, Precious also graduated and left UCT. It is very significant to state that Malesedi Maphunye Sefamela did not begin singing in the UCT Choir for Africa. I could not help but trace her choral music career. I understood that Precious had been part of the well-known high school choir, which was called Tsakani High School Choir, under Maestro Mantla Khumalo, another friend of mine, for years. And when she came back from UCT, we never lost touch. I was always following her. And proudly so, I saw her singing for Gauteng choristers under the well-known Mr. Mhlongo. If I'm not mistaken, that's where she finished her career. Rest in peace, Mwanamme. Rest in peace, Lavi. Your death came very soon. I thought my sister would bury me and not the other way round. Modimo ke ena a tsebang. A chimbile zwavhuḓi khaladzi yanga. I famba kahle my sister. Hamba kahle sesi wami. I will always love you. I will always have you in my mind. God knows what he has done. It's out of our hands. Fare thee well. Robala ka kgotso. Thank you.
i-tribute yethu yesibili izobuya kuTsakane Adult Choir yala elokishini lethu laseTsakane. Into ebonisayo ukuthi usisi wethu Malesedi uLavi was actively involved in the community. Ucilile kuleli choir. Manje sisonikeza ubaba uSipho Nkosi, who's going to pay tribute on behalf of its Canada choir. Asitshele ngempilo kasisi wethu kuleli choir. Siyabonga. Baba Nkosi.
Mangithathele lithuba nginibingelele kwelihle igama lenkosi yethu Jesu. Amen. Mina igama lami nguSipho Nkosi. Ngiqale ukwazi uSislavi ngonyaka between 1989 and 1990 when I joined the Sakane Adult Choir. We were so fortunate that we were both elected to be in the executive of the choir, where I was the chairperson and she was the PRO. Through her, we managed to get different, very beautiful uniforms. Ngibala into njengomama a caravan, I'm sorry, not a caravan, a trailer. We even managed to go to Bulgaria through her efforts. We even got a piano through her efforts as a PRO. And at the same time, she was my friend. Ulavi was an organizer, and she did not only work as an organizer, a choir only, but even in the community. As I speak, kunabantwana abagade ebafida ama drug addicts. Agade awasiza, awahelpa nokuthi athole i-counseling. Ubenceda nabantu uku-applya for these 350 relief grants. And angalinde nzuzo. She had a company, agade ayirana a NPO, agade anceda abantu. Lavi was an organizer. Lavi was always presentable, always elegant. That is why ngifuna ukuthi when God appointed Moses to go and lead abantwana bakwa Israel, God knew that after Moses there will be Aaron, after Aaron there will be Joshua. Ngifuna ukuthi ke kubantu base Gauteng, we need to get Aaron, we need to get Joshua, also take her over the baton, also take her over, athathe the spear, esiwele phansi, esibekwe uLavi. I-life for abantu akade bancedwa uLavi should not stop. Then to the bereaved family, the Sefamela and Maphunye, ngifuna ukuthi kini uNkulunkulu namanje usesonkulunkulu, and God loves you. The book of Matthew chapter 5 verse 4 says, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted." Babusisiwe abakhalayo ngokuba bayakududuzwa. But the question is, who do you cry to? Mabakhalele kuNkulunkulu, bangakhali kumuntu. Umuntu uzohamba akhulume indaba zabo. Ngaloko ngithi, Sislavi, Precious, Malesedi, Maphunye, Sefamela, good night. Till we meet again, my sister. Thank you.
umam ubusisiwe Hadebe ozositshela nge-involvement kaMama Malesedi emphakathini waseTsakani nemphakathi across the length and breadth of the country. Sibiza yena to talk about the social initiatives zikaMam Malesedi Maphunye Sefamela. Over to you, Mam Hadebe.
Igama lami ngingubusisiwe Hadebe. I know uMalesedi as a friend. I used to work with her ku Greater Springs, mina ngise Greater Niger, year 2000. And she left the municipality wire for greener pastures. And then we lost the communication between me and her. I contacted her. We started working together from August up to the end of December. We had Haiti on 28 November, where besiyenza issue shine campaign. Everyone obeza kuloyo Haiti was supposed to bring a pair of shoes for the needy. It was a successful campaign, and we had about 72 pairs of shoes that were contributed on that day, together nezika Sibongile Mngoma. On the 23rd of December, we had our Christmas party for Abostandiwe. We call them Abostandiwe. It's the street kids that are on drugs. We're trying to bring them together to show them love. I'm so saddened today. I don't know what to say, because we work within a short period of time, me and her, even if we knew each other a long time ago. But kule CSI project, I thought sizoqhubeka sisebenze with the Standiwation and the phenomenal women. It is unfortunate today that I'm sitting here saying fare thee well to my friend, to my sister. I thank God for her life. I thank God for the positive impact that she had on me. I thank God for her family ukuthi baye basinikeza isikhathi sokuthi sisebenze naye. There's nothing much I can say, but I say ulale ngoxolo sister, I love you. To the family I say Isaiah 43 verse 1 up to 5 uthi noma ningangena emanzini ningene emlilweni angeke nishe angeke ningene emanzini because I'm with you. And what I know ukuthi lapha ku Isaiah 55 verse 8 uthi his ways and our ways are not the same. His thoughts and our thoughts are not the same. I say goodbye, my sister, till we meet again. And I thank you for your legacy. You must know ukuthi sizoqhubeka. We won't stop ngokuhamba kwakho till we meet again. Thank you.
C'était vous tous en wena moya wa solwandle kumani kena ni manza solwandle betani na sama weni dedani elungwemeni votuza ke moya kumani kumagelwandle betema weni dedani elungwemeni my kiss is all Ellie's tender say to Sylvia Dagwetu Dombasekaya Kazirotini Ukuteta Nawe Panagunam Sanjay Sabaina Ewegeram Sanjay Siziketama Kazi Gunam Sanjay Sabaina Kambe Si Chosati Gelante Sylvia Kambe Si Chosati Gelante Uti Kazanawe Kasalante Uti Kazanape Amatam Sangonge Domente Tembalilekum Dobenku Lustandwa Setu.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now go to the Gauteng choristers. Choristers ezicule nosis uMalesedi. Malesedi thina abanye simazi being part of that choir, not only as a chorister, but as one of the people who serve to sustain that choir. We now call upon a tribute from the Gauteng choristers, and we invite the gentleman by the name of Mr. Joe Kanye. Over to you, sir.
My name is Joe Kanye. I'm born and bred in Springs, Guatemala. I'm here representing the Gauteng choristers. It is known as an institution of choral music in Gauteng and also in the country, and it has reached its accolades internationally. I happen to have met Lavi way before then as a good friend, but let me talk about Lavi as a musician and as a participant of music and leadership at the Gauteng choristers. When we met at the Gauteng choristers, obviously I was part of the leading team and she just joined as a member. But as the years went by, we had an opportunity, and I have got two highlights that I want to mention. That one of the things that made the Gauteng choristers to stand and to be where it is today, it was because whilst we're very solid and good in choral music and in articulating this art form and performance, in terms of leadership, we based the future of the choir in constitutional prosperity. What we did is that we then came up with constitution and the rules that governed how we are going to lead this monster. Because when we started, we were in the standard section and we then developed this big monster called the Gauteng choristers of today through making sure that we can develop music, but also balancing that with the development of policies and procedures which led us. There are certain things that I'll mention which then led to the success of Gauteng choristers and the contribution of precious Maphunye, aka Lavi, is that when she came in, she was very active in ensuring that ladies look like ladies. You know, she influenced how ladies will behave in public. She influenced how ladies will keep themselves. She influenced how ladies will, conduct themselves in the choir and also but in the public. And that for me came naturally without her being augmented or chosen or nominated into any roles in the choir. But let me talk about the two highlights when I was the CEO of the Gauteng Choristers and Lavi was part of the marketing management. And we had to go overseas, and I shall say that that was one of the greatest moments of the Gauteng Choristers, spearheaded and led by these brains, like a precious Maphunye. I will say without any doubt that the Gauteng Choristers has lost such a great leader. We went there, we managed to raise very solid funds, which obviously made the choir what it is today. I should also say that after that term, there were new leaders that were elected, and I can say with certainty that the constitutionality of the Gauteng Choristers then died. And it died because we now focus on leadership and not on the spirit of Gauteng Choristers. We now started failing to focus on what we created the Gauteng Choristers for, which was development of choral music in the country. That led also to divisions in the choir. But let me tell you what is the other highlight that Lavi spearheaded. We had at least 80% of our choristers who were coming outside of Gauteng. And that then required that when they were celebrating their lives, they were celebrating their marriages, and also where they were bereaved, we needed to go to those places in order to support them as the members of the Gauteng Choristers. But because the constitutionality had died, the divisions were there. There was no one to do those things. Traveling to KZN, traveling to the Eastern Cape, traveling to Matatiel, traveling to all lands to ensure that we can support our members in times of bereavements and or when they are celebrating their life. Now what happened is that myself and Lavi created a group that will volunteer to travel to all these places. And we didn't do it because we had money, but we did it because we had a love of Gauteng Choristers. And we did that because also Lavi will not choose color, will not choose face. She will just tell me, Spali, there's a problem in the Eastern Cape, let's go. One of ours has befallen and there's bereavement, let's go. And that escalated even after many years I'd left Gauteng Choristers. She will still call me and say to me, Sis Dudu has passed on. Let's go to KZN. So that was the element of the spirit of Gauteng Choristers that Lavi spearheaded even after the constitutionality broke down in the Gauteng Choristers. And I believe that Gauteng Choristers has lost such a beauty. Gauteng Choristers has lost such a leader. And South Africa, in the choral fraternity, has lost such a person who will walk into any of our programs with a smile and pomposity. Oh, she was beauty. Oh, she was elegant. Oh, she was a lady that will stand for all that she wanted to stand for in life. Two things that I'll always remember about you, my friend, is that you were a learned person, but very streetwise. Something that most people who are learned will not have. Boy, clever. If but you were such a learned lady with pomposity and elegance. And I'm going to miss you so much. The Gauteng Choristers is sending condolences to your family. And I remember, this is obviously going to be one of the best moments. I remember that when you joined, 2 years after that, Morgan Sefamela, your husband, then joined. So Morgan Sefamela get to be very close to me and Ngakuthenga Sampinjam. But I'm so happy that Ngakuthenga Selimpinjin that loved you so much, because he then became your husband after so many years of being in a relationship with you. But mina naye obviously besidlala ngawe. But I'm telling you that those are the days that I will always cherish in the Gauteng Choristers that I've shared with you, and will remember you so well. On behalf of the Gauteng Choristers, we would like to say to the families, Morgan, we are with you in prayer. Kamu and Katli, the sons of this beautiful lady, we are with you. We will never forget you through the contribution of your mother in our lives, in Gauteng Choristers and all in the choral fraternity as a whole. Goodbye, my friend. I am going to miss you so deeply and so dearly. sibulale kahle. Precious Pearl Maphunye, such a lovely woman. I thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last tribute on behalf of the National Choral Fraternity in all provinces will be tabled by Ms. Sibongile Mngoma, who will represent the aspirations of all choral lovers, the fanatics, the supporters, the executive from different provinces. We now hand over to her. Over to you, madam.
Sanibonani, sihlangana namhlanje ngindaba ezimbi, and yet sihlangana ngindaba ezimnandi because we are celebrating a life well lived, a life of someone who was admired and loved by many. She has lived her life to fulfill a purpose. Precious didn't live her life to survive. She fulfilled her purpose. She enjoyed it to the fullest. She loved her children. She loved her friends. She loved her family. She was one of those people that when you met her, it was difficult not to notice her. A lady, she liked nice things. You know, she would choose her clothes for effect because she was that sophisticated, that elegant, and she wanted you to know that she gets it. If you don't get it, that's your problem, but she gets it. And, you know, when I think of her like that, it seems very wrong that I'm talking about something that is a past tense. She won't be doing that again. And that's one thing that this COVID-19 is teaching us, is to live our lives to the fullest, to enjoy every moment. You know, it's no longer about day to day. It's now about moment to moment. And as a friend, that is the lesson that I'm taking from my friend's life. And after 31 years of friendship, I think I can safely say I've learned a lot from that friendship, and knowing that this is someone who cared deeply. We did, our last campaign was for school shoes. We collected school shoes, and our last pairs of shoes are still being delivered and dropped off. So umsebenzi kaLavi awukakapheli because sisa-collect ama-school shoes. And on top of everything else, our last conversation, she said, you know, my friend, I want to pledge our care packs to your campaign for artist care packs. And so if we are still continuing with the work that we were doing last week, then kusho ukuthi umsebenzi wakhe uyaqhubeka even when she has rested. And ngalokho, I guess, from the perspective of friendship here to on a personal level, I would say please continue honoring Ulavi by doing good for others. If she had asked you and you had agreed to support her shoe shine project, continue with that. If you had agreed to support her CarePax project, continue doing that. If you were supporting Ogogo ngama-high teas akhe, then continue doing that, because that's who she was, and that's who she will always be to those who knew her well. I was having a conversation the other day, Nosizo, and he was saying to me, you know, Smaile, the one thing I understand Ugutu Lavi would say to me, go out there, sing, cook, be excellent, do the best that you can, don't stop, don't feel bogged down by the grief that you're feeling right now. And I guess that is the one thing that I want to implore everybody to say, let's continue to honor Olavi by supporting her heart projects. And on the issue, because I was asked to speak as a national spokesperson for the arts and the choral fraternity, I just want to say that it's heartbreaking to see music offer because we fail to unite. And as the choral fraternity, there is so much work to do. The other day, I was attending a meeting and we were told that choirs are not funded in the program that is being introduced. And the question I wanted to ask is, if choirs are not funded, where are all these incredible singers going to be discovered? Because a lot of the most incredible, amazing singers worldwide actually cut their teeth in choirs. So what is it that somebody is not understanding? And I want to throw out this question particularly to the Department of Arts and Culture to say, what is it about the role of the choral fraternity are you not getting? That they are not even included in relief funding, that they are not included in general funding, that they are not included in even the presidential stimulus package. What I want to know is, so you have a Sibongile Mngoma who has become a world-renowned opera singer, cutting her teeth in choirs. You have a Beyonce cutting her teeth in choirs. You have a Pretiende cutting her teeth in choirs. And still, we don't get that choirs are important. They have a role to play. They are keeping our children away from the streets. And this is why Ulavi was so passionate about choir, because she understood the role that it plays in keeping communities, societies together and keeping our children off the streets. Our sekama social. So where do you social? We social in the choirs. But now, with what we are facing right now, even that has been taken away. It's time for us, when we get out of this mess, to revisit what worked for our parents, what worked for their parents, what will work for our children. Ulavi nami, we met at choir, at UCT Choir for Africa, and our sons were called the firstborns, the UCT Choir for Africa. She was the soloist when I arrived at UCT Choir for Africa. And when I arrived, there was suspicion around me because people looked at me and they were like, yo, ahamba masolo etu. But you know what? We transcended that competitiveness. And here we are, 31 years later, we are talking about a friendship that survived, and we did so much good together. Projects taking care of grannies, projects taking care of children, projects now taking care of artists. So I have a lot of respect for this woman that I'm talking about today. I have a lot of love. She was one of those friends that we didn't speak every day, but when we spoke, it counted for something. We spoke about what would make a difference and change somebody's lives. We never ever had a moment of frivolous talk because there was just so much work to be done. And we didn't care about our own situations, our circumstances. You know, sometimes when we talk as friends, we will discuss how kunzima, nathi siyatabalaza. We never discussed that. We discussed because we will make this happen. It doesn't matter where the first pair of shoes is going to come from, but it will happen. And that's what we did. And even right now, as we speak, like I said earlier, we are sitting with about 10 pairs of shoes that still need to be delivered. So I'm here just to say farewell to my friend, to the core of fraternity, Duduzegane, to abantwana bakalavi. I'm still here. I'm still here. Whenever, however, whatever, I'm still here. To Morgan, Brian, kuzoba right. We are all pulling together. We will get to the other side. We will make it. We shall live and not die. And whatever else is going on around us cannot change that narrative. And to our leaders, please don't write off the choral fraternity. It kept my friend happy, alive, and motivated. I can imagine how many more people are kept motivated, excited, and generally alive by this fraternity. If nothing else, then let Impilo Galavi speak to keep the choral fraternity alive. Thank you very much.
Thank you. to all the tributes that have been delivered in this short memorial service, to all the speakers that took time, and to all the choirs in the entire country that pay tribute and their last respect to our dear sister. We extend a word of gratitude. And without much ado, let me hasten to indicate that after the funeral, as it's going to follow this program, we're going to have the music celebration as well as celebrating the life of this glorious lady, a philanthropist, a socialist, a person that showed that we care for music, wamakwaya for our communities. Sesinikezele emndenini ukuthi uqhubeke neprogram yomngcwabo kodwa ningahambi. Don't leave this virtual presentation, because uma umngcwabo uhambi emathuneni will have the musical celebration and tributes zika Malesedi. Siyabonga uNkulunkulu ngempilo yakhe, sithi nxe mzwi wakasifamela nokaMaphunye akuhlangana ngehlanga. uNkulunkulu uye bekephile, uNkulunkulu othathile. God bless you. Siyabonga.